Blessed love and peace in Rastafari. I just recorded a joint. I'm sharing this addendum right here. Just a brief thing, just as like a public, not even public service announcement, but just like a public announcement. Um, we are receiving a considerable amount of response from kinfolk. A lot of it very subtle, a lot of it direct, and so we appreciate that. And I'll just be very candid in communicating a difficulty. Um, we are living in a society where I'll put this, we love everybody. We believe, we know, we trust the divine presence exists within everybody. Fundamental. That being said, I just mentioned a minute ago the U.S. Constitution is evil. Citizenship within the United States is evil. Regardless of whatever person's ethnicity, class, religion, or whatever, it's an evil. And we're very hesitant and resistant towards utilizing that word, but it's gotten to that point. No one is evil. We're not condemning any individual. We're not saying any individual is evil. We're saying that the behavior, and we're saying that the intention for doing that behavior and the agreement to be part of that behavior, that is what we're saying is evil. So can't say facts on evil. Can't do that. But if there's a point for this. Point is that those are the conditions. That's what we live in. So when we walk this land claimed by the United States, presuming that everybody that we see, or the vast majority of the people that we see, are citizens, the adults at least, are citizens of the United States, that's what we are encountering each day, that prospect. And again, we love everybody. We know everybody's doing the best we can. And we know kinfolk many kinfolk don't like being U.S. citizens. Evidence is that people don't vote. People aren't involved in politics, and additionally, so we know kinfolk have an awareness about what the conditions are, and are conflicted about that. So we know that. We know the divine presence exists within each being, and so everyone is doing something that is benefiting life in this universe. We recognize that. Now, that being said, part of the difficulty is that when we get people, we have so many beautiful kinfolk who approach us, we talk with, and additionally, but it's difficult to discern what people's intentions are, because that's how tenacious the game is here. It's everybody. It's just it's a culture of facades and false fronts, and it's very difficult to see the genuineness, particularly with the intention of like long-term kind of implications. A lot of smiling faces for a lot of different reasons, and a lot of that is not genuine. So my point here is this: we encountered, just even within the past week, but particularly within recent weeks, kinfolk who provide a communication of support. Some do it directly and explicitly, and that's easier to gauge and to respond accordingly. But a lot of people provide innuendos, because a lot of people aren't hiding. A lot of people, because I have eyes on me, and people around me have eyes on them accordingly. They may have eyes on them already, but many people have an awareness, like by being seen with me, that they're being seen. So many people are very careful what they say, very careful what they do, and additionally, but at the same time want to communicate support. So oftentimes want to communicate criticisms. But the point is here, just to say, we appreciate the support. We appreciate respectful criticisms. If kinfolk want to build in a respectful way and have a disagreement, we're very amenable to respectful reasoning. But particularly for kinfolk who communicate support, what we solicit is patience, because it's very difficult to discern what people's intentions are. And oftentimes, to be honest, this is what's particularly challenging. very often people have benevolent intentions, and we can see that, but at the same time are expressing, are still doing something that's harmful for us and may not be aware of that. Like, for example, somebody asks if I'm sitting, a lot of times I get offered food, I get offered money when I'm sitting here in the village. I don't accept any of it. Never accept money, even when people literally throw money at me. Um, uh, but an example of what I'm talking about in terms of like people trying to genuinely help, but still not knowing how, because we live a very strict lifestyle, and we're not trying to impose that on anybody. But when people offer us things like, I can't take that like that's outside of our discipline. Like giving food. Like if people want to give me a hamburger, like, you know what? Yeah, I don't eat that. I mean, appreciate that beautiful gesture and respect that. Very kind of you, but I can't do that. Um, that's one example. Uh, Other examples are like when cats are bumping. We know like if there's an experience of static because of the drum and like the antagonism towards the drum, and kinfolk comes up with bumps, like as in terms of like solidarity and support, like, y'all get off his back, da 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 da. We appreciate that, but at the same time, like we have challenges with the bumps too, and we respect the culture and everything, but at the same time, there are challenges with the bumps as well. So all I'm saying, we appreciate that, and we want to work in building with each other accordingly, and we simply solicit patience, um, as we find that way of further interacting, and we encourage direct communication among sistren. We know the situation, and sistren have less of an obligation, and we call less upon sistren to be so. Sistren have the way of doing things. We have to keep respect and encouragement in that respect. But what am I saying here? We receive a number of support, communication overtures of support from sistren, in direct ways, but also in many, many, many subtle ways. And so we appreciate that, and we keep it as it is. How do I put this? I'll put it like this. For brethren, it's beneficial to be further direct, to be further explicit in communicating and having sit down reason, and additionally. So beyond the overtures and beyond the like quick walk by kind of whatever's, we appreciate that, but what we encourage is further ongoing reasoning and communication. So that's what we encourage amongst brethren. We encourage that less amongst sistren, because we recognize that the conditions have yet to be properly secure in that respect. So we encourage a bit to a lesser extent than what we encourage within brethren. We also trust that sistren have a knowledge about communication and conditions, and how to communicate and cooperate and connect in ways that continue to befuddle brethren. So we encourage sistren to keep on keeping on, in this righteous trod, um, and with humbleness and purpose and beauty. So, and again, we work on spirit. Like, the words are very important. They're approximations, so we do our best to utilize our words in that respect. But we trust in the spirit, and being as genuine as we can be, and so whatever we are conveying, the gist of that is being received accordingly. So that is what I have to share. That is what I and I have to share. That being said, we give all thanks and praise to the Most High Elohim. Blessed love and peace in Rastafari.